friends. Disneyland Resort has seen a variety of changes in recent weeks, not just downtown Disney sort of shutting things down with the new stay-at-home orders across the state, but also some things reopening in the process of that were already in motion. The Gone Hollywood store, Disney California Adventure Park, the downtown Disney expansion area, as we're calling it right now. The Gone Hollywood store has reopened officially, and so drastically reduced capacity in terms of what they're allowing into the shop itself, but this now allows for a little bit more flexibility in terms of the Hollywood backlot section of California Adventure in the downtown Disney expansion area, with most of the dining opportunities sort of taken off the table, if you will, with most of the dining options now gone from downtown Disney, at least temporarily. Again, we are now seeing some retail options pop up to kind of entice people to come on in still. It's very interesting, though, Sabina, a few weeks back when Buena Vista Street officially opened as the downtown Disney expansion at California Adventure, huge crowds descended on the place. Huge crowds were a part of it. Of course, they limited how many people could be in certain places at certain times, but now it's a virtual ghost town.
Oh, definitely. I was there, I think, the weekend of opening, and it was incredibly busy. I think mostly due to people waiting around for their reservations. You know, they were still working out those kinks of kind of like figuring out, like, how do we have these people waiting to get into the restaurant versus getting people more inside of the stores, just who are waiting to just shop. I actually found myself really lucky was that, I know we were messaging and I was like, I'm here. I don't know if I'm going to get in. It's really crazy. And I had some friends who were at Carthay since the morning and trying to get in to get their table. But eventually, you know, they kind of were like, well, let's get more people into, like, you know, I think once the morning shift of people were gone, like, then they allowed more people inside. And yeah, like some of the stores that my husband and I were trying to shop at, because we'd been doing our Christmas shopping on Buena Vista Street in downtown Disney, was like off the page. And Gone Hollywood, we were like, you know, like, oh, these are closed, that's strange. And then the second visit was after the dining was closed, and it was exactly as you describe it, a complete ghost town. They had just set in the different systems to shop, but you know, you are able to still get the Marceline confectionery and the different treats that are available. So it has, you know, some good upsides to it being a virtual ghost town.
There are some pluses to it, certainly. Yes. It is a little difficult to enjoy those treats on site, as you are told to leave Disney property before you can eat it. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, certainly so. Downtown Disney, a virtual ghost town now. Nice to know that, you know, at least you got in to experience some of that initial magic that was being offered, but with cases surging and all kinds of chaos going into the holidays now with this year that just doesn't seem to end, it is unfortunate that you know, downtown Disney is having to struggle on through and have to deal with this new round of restrictions and stuff like that, but it's an unfortunate reality that everybody is going to have to deal with. And speaking of that, for the first time in decades, downtown Disney will be, along with the Disneyland Resort, closed on Christmas Day. Something that, for someone who has worked at Disneyland for a number of years, for decades, I served every Christmas for the most part, working right alongside my fellow cast member. It's just kind of unheard of that on Christmas Day things will be closed. Downtown Disney reopened back in July, as a reminder, and California Adventure's Buena Vista Street returned for shopping and dining in November as an extension of the outdoor mall. And Disneyland will be forced to close outdoor dining restaurants in downtown Disney and Buena Vista Street and furlough 350 employees because of those restrictions, due to the Southern California stay-at-home order that was issued here in early December. Disneyland Resort President Ken Patrick announced the closure of downtown Disney and California Adventure on Christmas Day in a letter to cast members saying, quote, "For 6 decades, Christmas Day has always been a special time at the Disneyland Resort where our cast members have welcomed generations of guests to make cherished memories. But this year is certainly different, given the continued closure of our theme parks and hotels, and in alignment with typical Christmas operations and other retail locations and shopping centers, we have made the decision to close the downtown Disney district, including Buena Vista Street, on Christmas Day," close quote. Wow. again, decades of operation on Christmas Day. In particular, Christmas Day is one of those like busiest days of the
Yeah.
year for, and not just Disneyland, Disney parks in general. And that stretch between Christmas Day and New Year's Day, like the busiest stretch of time period in the whole Disney calendar year. Here we are now seeing Christmas Day being completely taken off as an option entirely. You can't even go visit downtown Disney in its restricted mode because they're going to be closing it up.
That is, like in my in our entire lives, not heard of.
Right.
And it's all about doing the right thing. And honestly, hey, it's a day off for
Sure.
cast members. Otherwise, honestly, my heart still breaks for all of the cast members who are going through this entire situation, and just everyone who's being deeply affected. And I have like nothing but, wishes for their safety and for some financial protection from the powers that be. And yeah, it's just so weird. I mean, I myself didn't really go during the holidays. I'd always do my Disney holidaying like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, smart. Yeah.
But it's very strange. And going back to our last visit, we left Buena Vista Street in the evening, and walking by the Esplanade was really weird to not see the holiday glow of lights. And I was like, well, I'm good. But I think in order for us to do the right thing, especially in California, that's just part of the deal.
Again, an unfortunate reality that everybody has to face, and certainly something that, as the Disneyland Resort grapples with this on again, off again mess, and deals with all of the restrictions, certainly having to make that decision to send people home for Christmas Day. I'll tell you that I'm kind of like you. I would always go and experience my Disneyland at Christmas a couple weeks in advance, just because I knew how chaotic it got. And you don't even want to be there during that time. It's so overwhelming. It's so packed, and a lot of times they would close like the front gates and tell you, unfortunately, Disneyland's at capacity, and you're going to need to head on over to like California Adventure until we can find some room for you. And it would happen intermittently throughout that Christmas to New Year's week. But man, would it be insanely busy, to the point that I just stopped going during that week, because it's hard to have fun in that atmosphere, because those wait times are hours. And then like even to get into the restrooms, the poor ladies would have to wait forever to get in.
Yeah, that was... just it would be a lot. It's just so strange to see how this has unfolded, because I think even in October I was cautiously optimistic that we would be able to do something similar to what Knott's was doing. And maybe I was like, like an awesome Christmas wish would be for like the festival of the holidays to come out in some sort of capacity, to have something to compete with the Mary Farm. Yeah. And just things took a turn, and here we are.
Merry Berry Christmas,
who is also no longer happening. So
gives us even more to look forward to for Christmas 2021. That's for certain. And even Walt Disney World, which has been allowed to reopen out east and has been operating since July, they, with all of their restrictions in place and all the things that they're able to do out there, they are still in a capacity where they are limiting how many people can come in. And even though they've replenished a lot of the theme park reservations that people can do going into the holiday weeks, they're still capping that attendance to be able to manage it. Fortunately, Walt Disney World able to do a little bit more in terms of the Disney parks atmosphere than Disneyland is. But here we are sitting on this end of the country where, unfortunately, downtown Disney and the Disneyland Resort will be closed on Christmas Day. And some other sad news: the Disney College Program and Internships will remain suspended indefinitely. We brought this story to you earlier this year. They were kind of the first rung of cast members to be let go by Disney much earlier this year, during the initial shutdown of the country, during everything that was going on back in spring. This was the first round of cast members to be sort of let go in that capacity and sent home early, and they just ended the program really fast and said everybody needs to leave. Unfortunately, it looks like there is going to be an indefinite increase on this. As we draw to the end of the year, Disney has offered an update of sorts on Disney programs, which includes the Disney College Program and professional internships, with the following statement saying, quote, "For nearly 40 years, Disney internships and programs have been an important part of our heritage, having brought participants from around the world to Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland Resort, where they have shared their new ideas, talents, and perspectives with our cast members, guests, and local communities. We are honored that so many have been a part of this legacy, resulting in thousands of alumni who have had the opportunity to make magic while creating their own memories and experiences that have shaped the foundation of their future careers, whether at Disney or beyond. We value these important opportunities and the benefits they provide to our participants, our company, and schools and industries around the world. Our Disney internships are also an integral part of the future of our future, helping to strengthen our diversity and innovation here at Disney. Those are just some of the reasons why it was so difficult to suspend our programs earlier this year. We have not recruited participants for the upcoming semesters, and we are still uncertain about when we will be able to resume our Disney internships and programs. For today's students who are eager to become a part of the magic, we encourage you to connect with DisneyCareers.com and our social media channels for future updates. In the meantime, we are confident that our many alumni, both here at Disney and beyond, will continue to keep the spirit of Disney programs alive as we look forward to the future. No doubt the Disney College Program cast members made up the majority of the workforce out at Walt Disney World. Disney World is such a gigantic operation that they really were relying on the Disney College Program cast members to sustain all the operations, and they were bringing in every semester, every quarter, they were bringing in thousands of new cast members by way of the college program from various parts of the country and from around the world as like international cultural ambassadors, that sort of thing. So unfortunately, it looks like this program is being suspended indefinitely for the sake of giving the jobs back to the people that were already full-time and part-time with the organization and not college program related. But I know this stings for a lot of people that were looking to make this an internship.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who were either a part of the program over on the East Coast, West Coast, and it ripples out to even like the studio life. And to have that opportunity, be taken away for now is so sad, but honestly, a good thing to keep our students protected and, at home. But, it's like, please hire them as soon as like everything starts to resume a sense of normalcy. Yeah, I can't, there's so many people that we know who are affected by this, and it's, this year needs to end.
To a far smaller degree, the Disney College Program cast members supported the Disneyland Resort, and the housing and stuff like that was in downtown Anaheim. And I know that, that program also got clipped at the same time. And so everybody's experiencing these sort of drawbacks, and everybody's going through it from coast to coast. And so they're having to deal with that reality right now of, where down the line do we bring back interns in college program? And I'm sure it will happen eventually, but at this point, looking into the future, and, if I'm to put on my Disney park leader operator hat and, think about what it's going to be like moving forward, I can't imagine, this is just my educated guess, I can't imagine that we're going to see a college program even next year at all. So they have so many people still on furlough that are full-time and part-time workers at Disneyland and at Disney World that don't even have an opportunity to come back to their job yet. So until that happens, until those people are called back and can work again, we're not going to see college program come rolling in, I don't think. So tough to see, especially since this has become such a part of Disney Parks culture, and having these college program kids running in and, learning up the side of the hospitality mecca that is Disney. And I always really enjoyed college program participants. A lot of times you would see on their name tags, it would have, what school they came from rather than what city and state. And so that's kind of how you identified who was college program and who wasn't. And I always loved getting to know college program. They were always very excited to be, like over the top excited to be there. So you got to know them pretty well because you would see that excitement just exuding out of them, and getting to know college program was always a real treat. So sad to see that that's going to be suspended indefinitely, and we do hope for College Program to find a way back in some capacity very soon. Speaking of Disneyland and Southern California communities, the Disneyland Resort is pivoting a little bit and taking a different approach when it comes to the way it's handling the COVID-19 mess and the pandemic. As we know from past months, the resort itself and leadership from the Disney company has been at odds with the state of California, and the governor in particular going sort of back and forth and doing a lot of headbutting when it comes to the reopening of the resort, and sort of aligning themselves in a much more aggressive capacity than we're ever used to seeing Disney be. But now they've sort of pivoted. We don't hear so much from Disneyland specifically anymore in terms of fighting back. And so they are now issuing sort of a new narrative, a new way of doing things. And that is they've debuted a COVID-19 safety campaign to local communities as California cases of the pandemic surge. They are going to great lengths to make sure that the campaign called Together We Can Be Incredible features characters from Disney and Pixar's The Incredibles, sharing tips and reminders of important health and safety measures delivered through digital billboards, radio, TV, social media, content, and more, rolling out over several weeks. The PSA reiterates current health and safety measures based on guidance from health authorities such as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, and appropriate government agencies, including the OC Healthcare Agency. So you're starting to see these messages all over the place in Orange County and in Southern California. And the messages are shared by characters from The Incredibles, as I had mentioned, including Edna Mode, Dash, Mrs. Incredible, that sort of thing. The doctor of Disney Parks, the chief medical officer, she had something to say about this campaign, saying, quote, "The campaign emphasizes important health and safety measures, including physical distancing, face coverings, hand washing, and more, and leverages each character's personality to bring the messages directly to our local communities in a dynamic way." So this is something that I already saw in Anaheim. I saw at Angel Stadium. Saw the Dash running around and making the COVID-19 remarks of how you can be safer and incredible together. I think that this is an interesting pivot. Not just that Disney is investing money in doing this in the communities, but that they've kind of taken a backseat when it comes to being as aggressive as they were being, and now they're being a little bit more soft and just kind of educating people.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it took this long for them to do that sort of thing, because even before COVID, they would participate in various health campaigns throughout the city. There'd always be like bus stop signs for like resources and, advocating for different causes amongst families. And honestly, I was excited to see it in a way because it kind of reminded me of that, and I kind of hope that brand recognition for many does catch eyes of people just around and kids. So I mean, if you see Edna Mode tongue tied there, like, she just makes me so excited. Just Edna Mode is just iconic. I will be,
she is
stupefied and
fierce.
Her ferocity. If I see Edna Mode telling me to do something, I'm probably gonna listen, because when is she wrong? Like, she's like, no capes but masks on, honestly.
She seems to know.
Yeah.
She's a brilliant lady, and Walt Disney World rolled this campaign out when they officially reopened things. I want to say even, and I might be off by a couple months. They may have done it back in July, but I feel like I remember seeing this campaign when they reopened Disney Springs in May or June. It was, and this campaign is now front and center when you arrive to Walt Disney World. Mm-hmm. It's everywhere you go, from Disney's Magical Express to the resorts. You see the Incredible campaign, the Incredible Together campaign. It's a great way to incorporate those characters. You're absolutely right. And, sort of tie it into public education and, everybody working together towards the common goal of keeping each other safe in this regard. So nice to see that we have, this in effect in the Southern California region now, even if Disneyland theme parks are not technically open, that Disney is putting their money where their mouth is and just trying to be supportive of everything at the moment. Very Disney of them to do. That's for certain.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.